Today, I am ranking every cozy game I've played in 2024. The second half of 2024 in particular, because I actually did a video with the other half. But I'm going to review the half that I ranked and look over them. I'm going to be including releases that were brand new in 2024, as well as all the games I picked up for the first time in 2024 and played and checked out. If you want to see the first video, I will link that below and put it in the cards in the little eye. In that first video, I had played 39 games. Well, today, I have 49 more games to share with you, which is a total of 88 games, if I can do math. To be honest, that is a really wild number. That is so many games. And I'm just one girl. How did I do that? But there were games that I only played for a little bit and then I completely dropped off from, so I'll make sure to indicate that because I am using the same ranking system as I used in my last video earlier in the year. My categories are: S tier means that the game is super stellar and I loved it. It's a favorite game for me. A tier means the game is super good, but I don't love it enough to consider it a favorite. B are the games that I enjoyed, and they may have stolen my attention for a good amount of time until I kind of dropped them. C are the games that aren't terrible, but they didn't really steal my heart as much as I maybe thought they would. D are the games I just did not vibe with. They're not the best. And F are the very worst games that I don't recommend you pick up or even try. And I have one more category, which is I didn't really play enough of this to give you a fair review. And I know some people might not like that I do that category, but I want to share about all the games and let you know at least a little bit about them, even if I didn't play them a ton. But sometimes I just don't know where to put it in the ranking, or I want to try it more, so I kind of made this one just to throw those ones in there. I'm also gonna try not to go too in-depth on every single game, so please check out my other videos. I've done player pass videos throughout the year that go over literally all the games I've been playing more in depth. If you want to see little mini reviews of them, then definitely check those out. And with all that being said, I guess we're just gonna have to get started, so grab a snack because I think this is gonna be a long video. So this is my ranking from the first half of the year when I did that. And I'm looking back on it and I'm like, wow, I actually want to change some things. I do want to change some things. I feel like I was just talking about this with my friend Bailey, that there are times when we have like this recency bias is what she called it, where we really love that game in that moment, but later on we look back at it and we're like, I liked that game. Wow. Like, I don't feel that way about it anymore. Or I liked that game, but I don't feel that intense desire to play it or that love for it right now. And I definitely feel that way about a couple games. It's not that I don't like them anymore, but I just am like, why is that at the top of the list? Let's move Rusty's Retirement, which is an idle game. I'm gonna move that down to B. I didn't really stick to it. I do think it's a really fab game, but I wouldn't say it's like my favorite game in the world. So I'm moving it there. I feel bad. But why? Who's yelling at me? No one. And then Little Known Galaxy, I'm also going to throw in A instead, just because I did love that game a lot, but looking back, I didn't finish that last part of the game and I don't really feel the desire to. I wouldn't say it's like my favorite game in the world. I did really like Mineko's Night Market, Rockawin, Pikmin 4 is definitely an S tier. Unpacking, Minami Lane, I agree with that. Stardew Valley, I agree. Let's look at the second row. Tinykin, Little Known Galaxy, Assemble with Care, Pixel Cross, Four Seasons, Supermarket Sim. I don't know if I feel that same way about it. Oh, I guess I'll move that to B. Slime Rancher, Echoes of Plum Grove, I agree with that. To the Moon and Garden Galaxy. And then in B, I've moved these two. We have Rune Factory 3, We have Let's Build a Zoo. I really liked that one for a good bit. Lake, Vandal Tail Promenade, Snufkin, Before Your Eyes, Durango Lanko, Florimancer Sky, and Cozy Caravan, which you can't see, but you can watch my other video for that. News Tower, Planet Tiles, Endless Oceans, Big City in C, D. Okay, I think the rest of them are good, and I'm gonna stick with that. So I have my notes written out for every game. I'm gonna go through in that order, starting with Rolling Hills. If you guys remember Rolling Hills, it's a game where you play as a robot who serves sushi. You run your own restaurant. You can add new furniture that not only makes the restaurant fit your style, but it also gives you perks like increasing the customer's patience. You can purchase ingredients in town and do a lot of things, growing crops, interacting with the NPCs, increasing your friendships, and it has all these different stories that unfold throughout the characters, and it's just pretty much this relaxed diner dash type of game, and it is pretty easy, I would say. But yeah, I liked this game, but it isn't a game that really stuck with me for a long time. Kind of dropped off of it, really liked it in the moment, and then I was like, I don't really have a desire to go back to it, but it is very fun and cute. I don't think it's a bad game or anything. So with that being said, I'm going to put Rolling Hills in the C tier. The next game is Kamaeru, a frog refuge. And this is a fun game to kind of play, you know, when you have your mind on something else. I remember playing it back when I was talking in a voice chat in my Discord with friends, and I could just click around and play and kind of multitask with this game. I was gifted this game after the Wholesome Direct, and that was really exciting. It has frogs, and I do like frogs quite a lot. You can decorate your frog refuge, and as you do, like, new frogs will pop up, and then you can make food for them and feed them, and then get them to like you enough, and basically collect all these different types of frogs in the game. You can even do this cross-breeding type of mini game. I don't know if you can call it a mini game, but I didn't really enjoy that part of the game. But overall, this is a pretty nice game to just kind of click around with, maybe like play it while you're watching a show or something. But the game is $19.99, so for what you get in this game, I would suggest waiting for a sale if you're interested in this one. And I'm also going to put Kamaeru, whatever this is called, in the C tier. Everafter Falls. I was gifted Everafter Falls to do a review on them, and I was able to play the first full season, which I have a YouTube video on. This is a very quirky farming style game with Animal Crossing-esque characters that live in the town with you, and it's an interesting game because in the beginning you die and then you wake up and you're in this town where the people are not people, they're animals. And that just gives it a very interesting vibe than other farming sims. So the lore of this game really interested me. The gameplay loop is actually pretty fun, but ultimately the graphics are just not my favorite, and certain parts of the gameplay, like the fishing and the combat, kind of steered me away. But my favorite part of this game was the stories between the other characters, and just the writing in general I thought was really good. Ultimately though, I do recommend Everafter Falls. I don't think I'm going to personally be playing it again, but I feel like this one can go into the B tier. The next game was also gifted to me, and it is called SunnySide. And this is an interesting one because I was very, very interested in this game, and I was really enjoying it for a pretty good amount of time. And at first, like, this game, the glitches were funny to me. I had fun streaming it and just had a great time with it when I was crashing my bike and flying into the heavens. But then when I truly wanted to get into this game and experience it, I realized that that wasn't that funny anymore, and it prevented me from actually making real progress in this game, which is something that just bothered me with this game. Like, it was so hard to travel around. You have to walk or run or ride this bike that's really hard to ride, and it just took forever to travel from farm to the town, and following the map was very difficult for me as well, like to figure out where I'm going or where the places or the store is that I was headed to. But I do love the concept of a modern farming game, which this game provides. But I ended up not really liking a lot about the game. And the custom character design wasn't my favorite either. I just felt like it was missing something. A lot of this game felt like it was missing something. Some things were polished, some things were not. And this was a fully launched game, and it is not in early access, but it often really felt like it was. So ultimately, I'm putting SunnySide in the D tier. The next game is Go-Go Town, and Go-Go Town was a game that released in early access, and this game was also gifted to me to provide a review, which I've done, but I'm also including it in this video. This is an early access game. I love the graphics of this game. You are the mayor of the town in this one, and it's your job to rebuild a rundown town into a thriving town. And you can pretty much build up shops, hire staff, attract tourists is a big one. Eventually, you can automate deliveries to continue stocking the shops and more. It's this town builder and town manager. I would actually love to revisit this game, but when it's in full release, I don't have a desire really to go back now, but it's not one that I'm like against or anything. It feels very solid and polished so far for early access, but yeah, I definitely recommend this one for those who like a management game. So I am putting Go-Go Town into the B tier. The next game is called Smushi Come Home, and this is not a new release for this year, but I did play it this year, and I will admit that I had motion sickness during this game. I felt very sick during it. It does have a lot of like camera movements and stuff, but if I look past that, this little exploration game is full of love as you adventure to find your way back home and complete some quests along the way. It has platforming and definitely feels similar to Mail Time, but it's unique in its own way. I don't think I played enough of this game though to give it the best rating, and I feel like I have a bias towards disliking it because I felt sick playing it, but it does seem solid, it does seem wholesome, and it does have good reviews on Steam. So those are my thoughts for this game so far, but it is one that I didn't play enough to give the best ranking to, so I'm gonna stick Smushi Comes Home into the I didn't play it enough category. The next game is called Koi Farm. I found this game during a Steam sale, never heard of it before, and I played it for like a hot second. You don't have to play much of this game to understand it. This is a very simple and relaxing card collecting game where you basically breed koi fish to create new types and new patterns, and then when you do, you get this little trading card to collect, and this game is only $2.99, and it's a nice little pastime game to chill and play. I'm gonna give Koi Farm a C tier. It wasn't something I felt like I was gonna stick with, but it's not a bad game. Until then, I purchased this game myself. I really wanted to play it, especially after playing the demo during a Steam Next Fest. I was so excited, and this is an easy one for me to rank. It's one of my favorite games of the year for sure, and I had been looking forward to this game, and it did not disappoint at all. This game has an amazing story. It's a narrative-driven game where you play as Mark, and you interact with the game as him. You make decisions as him and choices for him, and those choices advance the story. This game is incredibly immersive, and it has cool odes to the Philippines and culture and locations, and each of the characters are extremely thought out, and you grow an attachment to them. And I just love this game. I love the art style. I love the mini games that you'll find throughout the game. I was even told by people in my Discord community that after you complete this game and you click continue playing, that there's even more content, and it seems like you're just starting the game over, but it's actually like a different story. So I absolutely need to go back and do that. I've been thinking about that for a while. So if you can't tell, Until Then is an S tier game for me. The next game is called Here Comes Niko. I actually ranked this in a video that I did previously on the channel where I ranked cozy games that were recommended by you guys. I do need to include it in this video too. This was not new in 2024, but it was new to me this year. This game is on Nintendo Switch and Steam. It's super adorable. I love the colors, the art style. This is a 3D cozy platforming game, and there are also cute frogs in this game. You play as a professional friend in this game. That's your job, and you basically take this train and you go to different levels where you'll need to complete a certain number of tasks and help the characters in each area as the professional friend, and then you can move on to the next area. And whenever you ride the train, you get insight into Niko's own story, which is very cool. And yeah, there's puzzles, mini games, bugs, fishing, and it's just very unique. And it's definitely a game that kind of boosts your mood. And I like games with a focus on like caring for others, and this game has that. So for me, Niko is going into the B tier. Magical Delicacy was a new game this year, and this game was gifted to me. And this is a platformer that really pleasantly surprised me. I am not great at platforming games. I usually feel like I'm not gonna like them if they're more difficult. Like, maybe you don't think a Mario game is difficult, but it can be to me. And this one just happened to be perfect for me. It's really unique. It's about a witch named Flora who cooks. And you'll basically cook meals and make potions. You have to find and forage the right ingredients, and you'll have to do platforming in order to find those things. There are also several different items and ingredients that you can use for different recipes. So for the same recipe, it simplifies the recipe making. You just kind of need certain items that match certain tags, and then you can use those ones. I enjoy the game a lot. I know a lot of people kind of felt confused when this one came out because it doesn't hold your hand. It kind of lets you figure things out on your own, and you do that just by exploring and jumping around. So definitely check this game out. I also did a tips and tricks video on this game. I just found it relaxing and fun, but there is a part where you go into these like catacombs, and I found that those were not very nice areas to go because they were really difficult platformer areas. But I did find myself like continuing to try. But there were some that I could not get through. So I kind of wish there was a way to just like skip some of those and get to the area, but I don't think there is. Overall, I really enjoyed Magical Delicacy, and I'm gonna put that one in the A tier. The next game is Ova Magica, which is an early access game that released this year, and I will let you guys in on my thoughts for this game, but honestly, I did not play this one enough. I had played the demo before, and I basically did everything almost a little bit more than what I did in the demo. Yeah, when I was gifted this game also, just so you know, and I just didn't give this game the full chance that it probably deserved. But when it's early access, I'll often kind of wait and be like, okay, I'll just play it when it's fully released. So I'm probably gonna wait for that. From what I saw so far, this is a polished, super cute game. It gives Story of Seasons mixed with Pokemon vibes, and I like the concept of this game a lot. I just need to play more to see what I really think of the gameplay, because I feel like I was just kind of playing the tutorial for 3 hours. But yeah, I'll wait for the full release to do that. You can basically collect and battle with cute blobs, and there's also like romancing and life sim elements in the game, but I just didn't find myself coming back to this game, and I'm gonna wait for the full release to give my full thoughts. So Ova Magica is going into my I just didn't play it enough to give you a fair review category. The next game is called Creatures of Ava, and full disclosure, I was previously sponsored by this game to create a video, and I was gifted the key to play, but my thoughts are my own, and I'm not sponsored right now. But I was honestly blown away by this game, and that's why I accepted that sponsorship. It is an open world cozy adventure game, and I feel like not enough people talk about it. You work to save the creatures of Ava from the withering by using this like dodge based combat where you're kind of like dodging. You're not really like hurting the animals, you're actually sucking the withering disease like out of the animal. It's really unique. You also use music in this game, and you go to different areas and like biomes kind of. I really enjoyed this game, and I just felt like it stuck out to me this year because it was refreshing compared to other games that I typically play. So Creatures of Ava is going in the B tier. The next game is one I probably don't even need to like tell you about. I don't even need to tell you what I think about it. You already know. This was the best early access game of the year, and it is Fields of Mistria. And this game was gifted to me. That's exciting. That's cool. But I would have bought it anyway because this game is like min coded. This game is so cute and I adore it. It is a farming sim with a pastel color palette, pixel art, Stardew Valley vibes, but it's its own thing. And you don't feel like you're playing Stardew Valley. You feel like you're playing Fields of Mistria. And the characters are extremely in depth. The strawberry cows are extremely cute and they exist in this world and they exist in my world every day. So I want to play a game that they exist in too. I love it. I love it. I love it. There's so many cute animals. There's so many cool mechanics in this game. And the game is so enjoyable for me. There's no fishing minigame. There's diving. There's so many fun decor items. And I found myself loving decorating in this game. This game just feels made for me. And the update that it had in November was also great, and it gave so much to explore and work towards. You have more house upgrades now. You have the east and west wings that you can unlock, which I did. You can ride your strawberry cow or whatever big animal you want to ride around the town as your mount. I have found myself just in love with this game. I've had loads of fun with Fields of Mistria this year, and there is plenty of content on my channel if you want to see what I really think about it, because I really like it. So the game is, what do you think? What do you think? Fields of Mistria is an S tier game for me. Next up, I have Spirit City Lo-Fi Sessions, which is a productivity idle game where you can create a character, and as you keep that game open, you have tasks that you can add to your checklist. You have a timer you can set for being like into the mode and stuff like that, and you can unlock different like cosmetic items and cute little blobs and friends that hang out next to you, little like animals. You can decorate your area. You can play lo-fi music through this game. Obviously, it's called Lo-Fi Sessions, and it's very cool. This game is definitely not going to be for everybody because it is like a whole different category of a game. It's like this idle game. So I did use it a lot for videos and stuff earlier in the year, but I just found that I didn't keep up with it. But I do think about it frequently, like, oh, that would be helpful to use, just getting other tasks done, like around the house and stuff. And it's fun to, I don't know, just get all the items in the game. So I do kind of want to revisit it. So for what this game is, I am ranking it into the B tier. Next, we have Gourdlets. Gourdlets was gifted to me kindly by the developers, publisher, whatever. And it is a wholesome game from head to toe, and it is just so cute. I love the art style in this game. This is a creative sandbox game where you build and decorate these little islands, and you have these sweet little Gourdlet guys come and visit the town by the train that you can invite over, and they can come and be in your town, and they're so cute. This game has no objectives to fulfill. You just build and create, and these little Gourdlets will interact and swing on the swings and go on the Ferris wheel. And it has gotten some really awesome updates that I haven't had the chance to play, but I just love this game. You can decorate inside the buildings as well, the ones that you're placing down in the town, which is so unique. And I just love this game, and I do consider this one of my favorite games of 2024. This game is only $4.99. Gourdlets was such a pleasant surprise for me, and it is going in the S tier. Love Ghostie was gifted to me, and this is one of the most unique cozy releases of the year. I absolutely adore this game, and I need to even play more of it still. But it is a matchmaking game where you play as a ghost and you can choose 4 characters that you can add to your manor at the start of the game. It's like a dating matchmaking game. Like, they're entering the villa, and I don't know, it's just so cool. You can steal items in the game and gift them to the residents, saying, oh, is this a gift from this resident? And it's like part of your matchmaking stuff. You can set residents up on dates together and then see how it goes, see how it plays out. And some matches will be more interesting than others. Some will be spicy, some will like each other, some won't. It's just unique, clever, witty. I know how much love went into this game because I had the pleasure of interviewing the developer, so I might have a little bit of a bias there, but I fully agree that this is a really wonderful and precious game, and I am putting Love Ghostie into the A tier. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, not a new game from this year, but new to me, and this game teeters on the edge of cozy because there is some platforming, but you can play in like this easy mode, which is what I did, and it's very fun, and it's just colorful and Nintendo magic, and I really like it. So you just kind of like go through different levels and different areas, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I haven't really played a lot of Kirby games, but I think he's so cute, so I definitely wanted to. And so Kirby is also going into the A tier. The next game is called Yonder, the Cloud Catcher Chronicles. And this game sat in my library for quite a long time until one of you guys suggested that I try it out. This game is described as a relaxing open world adventure game. And in this game, you are this like hero and you have to find these sprites and use their power and clear the murk that's taking over the land. There's crafting, farming, fishing, creature raising, and stuff like that. But it felt kind of open, like too open-ended almost for me, where it's like, okay, here are these quests and you can figure them out, and then suddenly I can't figure them out and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Where should I go? Okay, I can't get that one done yet. Where am I supposed to go to do this, that, and the other thing? And I just didn't like the game enough to be looking things up. I didn't love how the game looked. I played a lot of great games this year, so this was just felt like it was just from the past, I guess. And I don't know, at first it felt guided, and then I just felt like I was like all of a sudden confused and left in the dark, like what am I doing? And maybe you guys like this game, I don't know, but for me it was a D tier game. Like I just don't see myself going back to that. And next, Garlic Builder, which is not talked about very much, and this one was recommended by one of you guys as well. Garlic Builder is a building game. You play as a little garlic and you build these little pictures with these blueprints. You'll also have to just jump around, hop around, fly around, and figure out how to create these pictures. You can't just, click around on the screen. You have to jump and get up there and place the items because you're a garlic. You're not a you. In the game, you are a garlic. I don't know if I'm making any sense. You can kind of play this game however you like. You can do it to completion perfectly, or if you're stuck, you can just be like, I'm done with this one, and they'll rate your picture even if you didn't finish it, and then you can move on to the next one. But overall, this is actually a really nice little game, and Garlic Builder goes into the B tier. Next up is Garage Sale, which was gifted to me, and I feel like this game just showed up out of nowhere, like suddenly it was released and I never heard of it before that. And this is a sweet little game if you want something short to play, but I personally did not complete this game. I do like the graphics. It's very pixelated, so some people who don't like the pixel art might not like it. You play as Juniper, and it's Garage Sale Day. You complete quests for your quirky neighbors, and there's tons of items for you to collect along the way. I felt like this game was thought out, and it was cute. It was polished, but it just didn't hold my attention the way that I really wanted it to. This game is only $6.99, so it's worth picking up on sale or even at that price. But for me, Garage Sale was a C tier game. Next up is Broken Lens, which was gifted to me. I checked this one out on a stream, but then later on I actually played this with my mom on my Steam Deck when we were on a little vacation, and that is a precious memory to me. It was really cool to kind of show my mom, like, this is what cozy games can be, and start with one that was like up her alley, something she could figure out without explaining like the whole farming sim stuff to her. So this is a spot the differences game that is quite forgiving, and you can get these like hints and different skips to kind of help you through if you need them. You will have a split screen and you can pan around to figure out what are the differences between this side of the screen and this side of the screen. It can be tricky at times, but it has those like forgiving elements, and it's not a bad game, but it's not really the type of game that I usually gravitate towards, and therefore Broken Lens is a C tier game for me. Next up is Valley Peaks, which was also provided to me as a gift key to review, and this game seems fun and chaotic, and it is, but when I played this one on stream, everyone and myself in the stream was feeling motion sick. This is a climbing adventure game with very silly controls because you play as a frog in this platformer. You have to climb to the top of different mountains to install radio towers. This game definitely has heart, but sadly, it just was not my favorite. And it kind of seems like an acquired taste kind of a game, if that makes sense. So in my experience, in my heart, this is a D tier game for me. Just not one that I'm even like thinking about going back to. Next up, I have Weko the Mask Gatherer. This game was provided to me to talk about on the channel, was gifted. I did not play enough of this game though to give a proper ranking, but I'm gonna tell you about it for those who are interested. This is a 3D action adventure game with Zelda vibes. You are on a quest to collect the 7 powerful primordial masks, and you have to complete different quests and puzzles and combat in order to do that and get to that and collect those masks. I found this game fun and it felt polished, but I just didn't feel like playing this game. It just wasn't the type of game I guess I was looking for. It's not really my first pick type of game, so I'm probably not going to be picking it up again, but I'm sure some of you guys would like it more than me. This is a game that I just didn't play enough. Katamari Damacy Reroll, I think is how you pronounce this. It's weird, it's chaotic, and it's just kind of satisfying to play. I even played this on my Steam Deck and it worked great. You literally just complete different levels by rolling over all this junk and stuff in the game, and you want to complete different goals, like you want to get the ball of stuff that you're creating to be whatever size that it's supposed to be. So you kind of have this timer going and you're like, I gotta do it. And it's very satisfying and fun, and I actually really enjoy this for just, you know, passing the time, and it's a mood booster for sure. So for me, this game goes into the B tier. Forager is a game that I just loved and adored this year. It is not new. It's actually a decently older game, but I checked it out this year for the first time, and you basically start on this little plot of land surrounded by water, and you'll just start hitting rocks, chopping trees, and you literally forage items, hence the name. And as you do that, you gain skill points, and you can then spend those skill points on different things that you can craft, crafting benches and other crafting recipes, and you get to expand your area, decorate, and so much more. And it's such an addictive gameplay loop. I just felt like I kept getting surprised by this game. There is combat, but you literally can just die and come back to where you were, so it's not a huge deal. But this game is absolutely awesome, and if you haven't played it, I definitely hope that you do, because for me, this was like a solid A tier game. The next game is Core Keeper. This is a game that definitely feels like it is just made for co-op because there is so much to do and discover. I just can't imagine doing all of that on your own, but you can play on your own. But when I first played it, I was trying to figure it out in the co-op mode. This is very much a figure it out for yourself type of game. You do a lot of foraging, mining, but there are pink cows in this game, so you know I had to check it out because I love pink cows and strawberry cows. This game can be relaxing, it can be cozy, but there are some really interesting combat things that happen in this game. You gotta be ready. When you die, you spawn back to your base and you lose all the items in your bag that weren't in the hotbar, I believe, and you can go back there and actually collect them again. So it's a lot of exploring, there's decorating, and if you like games like that, then you might like this one. Although this is a great game overall, this is just not the game for me. and I'm giving it the C tier. This next game is called Coffee Talk, and this year I finally finished Coffee Talk. I completely restarted the game over because I had never finished it before. Peyton's Corner totally influenced me to play it once we were talking and starting to talk on the podcast. I was like, I gotta play this one all the way through. I played this one fully on my Steam Deck and it ran great. I actually really loved this game. It is a relaxing, narrative-driven game where you are the barista for a mystical, magical creatures who come in, and you get to see their stories unfold with each other and just their individual stories. You make these coffees or drinks for them based on, there's sometimes like cryptic orders that they're giving you, and the drinks that you make impact the story. But I did a good job making sure I made the right drink for them almost majority of the time. This game is incredible, and it is definitely one of those like must play cozy games. I need to play the other Coffee Talk games. This Coffee Talk game is going in the S tier. Caravan Sandwich. Caravan Sandwich was gifted to me. This is one of those games that I felt like I just tried way too hard to like it. I kept hearing only amazing things about it, and I played the demo and I liked the demo, but you don't see everything in the demo. It starts off fine, but then I got totally lost and confused. I just couldn't seem to figure out anything out to continue the story. I just felt dumb. I don't know. The music, the environments, they're great. Their characters are great. The graphics are great. But I just didn't end up liking this game. I don't know. I just kind of got stuck and bored, and I don't know what happened, but overall, I just didn't enjoy it. That's my personal experience, and to me, this was a D tier. The next game is called Critter Cove, and this is an early access game that was gifted to me this year. Another great early access game, I must say. It is a fun-filled, open-ended game that is guided by loads of quests and things to work on. It is definitely ambitious, but this dev team seems to be keeping up with it. You can play as a critter or as a human, and they have a really fun character creator. You can travel to different islands and get more critters, more resources, invite critters to your town, and then eventually give them a job, but it has to be the right job. And it's just so fun and creative. I had a lot of fun with this game this year, but ultimately, I feel like it was just a B tier for me this year, which is still a high rating. Critter Cove is one of those games that I played a lot of at the time, and then I just kind of completely dropped off from. And it's not because Critter Cove is a bad game, but it is an early access, and I tend to do that with those games. So I'm really hoping to see where Critter Cove goes in this upcoming year, and if it will get a full release, because I'll definitely check it out again at that point. The next game is called Garden Witch Life, and I have a full video on this game and why I didn't like it. It just wasn't good. So watch that video if you haven't seen it. And that game was gifted to me, by the way. Copycat was gifted to me, and this game was a hidden gem of the year. I never hear people talking about it, but I loved it. It's a narrative-driven game where you play as a cat who was newly adopted by this older woman who lost her other cat. And you'll feel a lot of feelings in this game. It really immerses you into the story. It highlights themes such as loss, rejection, fear, abandonment, and more. And it's only about a 2-hour playthrough, so if you want to feel something, you gotta check out Copycat, because Copycat was a B tier game for me. A Tiny Sticker Tale. This was not a new game this year, but it was new to me, and it is one that completely took over my heart for a bit. I've nearly 100%ed it, besides for one tricky achievement that I didn't get because I would have to replay the whole game. This has simple puzzles that you solve by using the stickers that you collect around the world. Basically everything in the game is like a sticker that you can collect and put into your sticker book. And it's a very fun game. It's very short, it runs well on the Steam Deck. It's about a 1 to 2 hour game, but tell me, why do I have almost 6 hours in it? Because I was trying to get the achievements. I just really, really, really loved this game. So A Tiny Sticker Tale is an S tier for me. The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is the next game, and I very, very much enjoyed this entry to the Zelda series. The puzzles are super fun and unique and satisfying, and I just found myself really, really loving being able to play as Zelda, especially in this cute art style. You have this echo / copy ability that you'll use throughout the game, and it's a very interesting mechanic. It's really fun. I like the element of like collecting those, but I also like being able to use them to solve the puzzles and to use them in combat. And it's a great entry into the Zelda series if you haven't ever played a Zelda game, or you haven't played Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. I think it's a good entry point. I also love just playing as Zelda. Zelda was an A tier game for me. The next game is called Spiral, and Spiral was gifted to me. I had actually started playing this game because I was going to include it in a video, but I never ended up like finishing that video and making it, posting it, editing it, nothing. What I played so far was enjoyable. This is a third-person narrative game where you have to do a lot of exploration, and this game highlights the journey of aging, dementia, and looking back on your life as Bernard and looking back on your most treasured moments. I have yet to finish this game, but I really do hope to do so in the future. But sadly, I just didn't play enough of this one to give it a fair ranking, so I'm gonna say I didn't play it enough. A Bird Story. This is an inexpensive game that I played and I highly enjoyed. I played it all the way through. It's a little bit over an hour of a playthrough, and it's a narrative-driven story about a boy who finds an injured bird and they become friends. This is a very sweet story, and it just makes me happy to be able to complete a game. So A Bird Story goes into the B tier for me. What Remains of Edith Finch. I am not sure that this game is cozy. It's like a walking simulator. It's not a lot of difficult stuff, but it is a little suspenseful and feels like not horror, but it can be a little jumpy and weird and dramatic, I guess. So make sure you look up the trigger warnings, because this game follows the life of Edith, and she is visiting her childhood home and reflecting on her family. All of her family, except for her, has died or they've disappeared in mysterious ways. This game is something you need to prepare yourself for. Look up the trigger warnings if you feel like you need to. You are the last remaining in your family, and you're gonna go walk through all of the stories of everyone who has died before you. But be sure, if you play this one, to stick it out to the end, because it's just very, very interesting. But this is a stellar game, and I'm giving it the B tier because it's just very good and the storytelling is extremely immersive. This next game is Tiny Glade, and this is only on Steam. It's a diorama building game where you can create cute houses or majestic castles. It's up to you. It has no quests, no achievements. It's just building and creating. It has a daily prompt that resets every 24 hours, and it gives you a little like starter build that you can use or you can erase. And I'm just excited to see what else comes to this game. It's very amazing. It's only $14.99, but I'm gonna maybe surprise some people because I'm going to only give this A tier ranking, because I do think that this game just needs a little bit more. It needs some more additions to the game. It needs some more items. It needs some more colors, some more shapes, and just more options overall, because it gets a little bit repetitive and maybe it falls flat a little bit. Like, I just need a little more. With that being said, I am putting Tiny Glade into the A tier. Europa is the next game, and it was gifted to me. This is a very pretty Ghibli-esque art style game where you play as Z and you explore the world. You will read these letters that your father left behind. I actually did play this game from start to finish. It's very pretty. It has a lot of puzzles, but I kind of felt like the story was hard to follow. Like, I could not tell you really much what was happening in this game, except for like you're an android and your father wants you to go bring the world back to the life. I don't know. I did feel like the art style was beautiful, and maybe this game got a little bit hyped up for that and not so much hyped up for the gameplay that it was gonna give. It's not a bad game. It's a lot of platforming and puzzling, and it's a change of pace for me from my usual games. And for me, Europa, it's kind of so-so. I'm putting it in the C tier. The Sims 4. You're probably like, girl, you didn't play The Sims 4? No, I didn't. This was my first ever time playing The Sims this year, and I started with The Sims 4. It is a wild game. You probably don't need explanation. You basically create a life. Well, you create a character, and then you manage their life, their job, their friendship, their relationships, their health, and so much more. You can decorate, you can do a ton of stuff when you buy all these paid packs, which I've bought, so I need to play this more. I just had so much fun trying this for the first time this year, and I definitely want to play more, or maybe try like one of those popular challenges that they have in this, like that people have created around this game. I just don't know when will I have the time to actually do that. From what I have played so far, The Sims 4 is an A tier game for me. Bloomtown, a different story. This game was kindly gifted to me. This game was quite unique, and it was super polished. It is a story-driven, turn-based battling game where you play as two siblings who are visiting their grandpa for the summer, and this game is like all the Stranger Things vibes that you could get into a game. It's this game. They are trying to figure out why children are going missing, and they find this like underground world, and there's demons and there's monsters, and you'll have to use turn-based battling to defeat them and progress the story. This game is very engaging. It's very fun. I'm not huge on the turn-based combat in the game, but it's a solid game. So for me, Bloomtown is a B tier game. This next game is called Penko Park, and I played it around Halloween. I've had this one just sitting in my library waiting to play. I heard somebody else say they liked it, and I wanted to try it. I like simple games sometimes, and this one was that. It is so much fun. It's basically Pokemon Snap, which I haven't even played, but you take pictures of these eerie little creatures, and they're funny, they're silly. I just like the humor in this game, and Penko Park is an A tier game for me. The next game is called Shin-Chan, Shiro, and the Coal Town. This game was gifted to me to review, and I was really scared that I wasn't going to like this game, but I found it quite enjoyable. This game follows the story of Shinosuke and his dog, who sneaks off into the coal town. You will gather resources through very simple farming, fishing, bug catching, and more in order to advance the storyline and complete quests. I very much liked this game, and it was a pleasant surprise for me, but I feel like this game's a little bit pricey. Yeah, this is a $30 game. I felt like that was a bit pricey, so I would suggest picking this one up on a sale, but this game was a B tier game for me. Next up is Web Fishing. This is a $4.99 game on Steam, and it makes me a happy little sprout, this game does. This is a cool game where you play as either a cat or a dog. It's actually an MMO, so multiplayer, online, massive, blah, blah, blah. You just fish with your friends, or you can fish in a random server and make some friends. And you basically complete quests by fishing, and doing so, you will be able to unlock more skills, more resources, and more cosmetic items. This game has great humor, and it's such a precious little game that I just really enjoyed. Kind of brings you back to a place where you're like, did I play this game in my past life or something? Like, it gives you old school vibes. And whenever I would see my friends streaming this, I would be sure to join in on their server and play along because it's such a fun game. So Web Fishing was an A tier game for me. The next game is Everhome, and this game was gifted to me. I don't feel like I can give it a fair ranking after I thought about it a bit. Even though I played like 4 hours or something, I just felt like I was thinking about other games I'd rather be playing, and like I just was into a different game at the time, Fields of Mistria, and it was hard for me to have the desire to start a new farming game at the time. I just want to be honest about that. This is a beautiful pixel farming sim where you play as a girl who is spirited away, and you are looking for your sister to find out where the heck she went. And you end up in this town where everybody seems to know you, but you don't really know them. But where's your sister? Yeah, it did seem a little bit like open-ended, but like fetch questy at the same time. And I had a confusing time like just navigating around. Ultimately, Everhome happens to be one of those games I just didn't really play enough of. This next game is called Ninano Dream Life. And this game is so cute, from the characters to the colors of the game to the animals. There's even strawberry cows in this game, but it definitely had a lot of issues on the release day. And I know this dev had been working really hard on patching the bugs, and maybe a lot of those have been patched now, but there were like crashes when I played, the animals not staying in the fences, mechanics just not working, like trying to feed them a certain thing and it just wouldn't work. And this game is a full release, but it felt very early access, which just turns me off, I guess. It has good potential though. I felt like the characters had thought out personalities and the translation of the game was good, and it just wasn't as maybe guided as I needed it to be in the beginning, and it just ultimately didn't hook me. I think this might have been better if it was released in early access, but to me, Ninano Dream Life, it's ultimately, I'm gonna go with C tier, but I kind of feel like it's a C minus, like it's a little bit in the middle there. MySims Cozy Bundle, I was very, very excited for. It just looks so cutesy, and this is an exclusive Nintendo Switch game for $40 where you get 2 games, MySims and MySims Kingdom, and I did try both of these for a little while. I did find myself preferring MySims Kingdom over MySims. Overall, I felt like this was a little bit disappointing in a way because there was so much hype for these games, but then the controls were really difficult, and I just I don't know, something about it just didn't bring me in. But I do think it's a relaxing, cute game. The games are enjoyable. There was something missing for me. Maybe I need that nostalgic factor, which I don't have because I haven't played these in the past. But ultimately, I'm looking forward to a brand new MySims game to come out so they can kind of target the audience that has now grown up but still loves cozy games. Yeah, I don't think the price for this game is bad either for the 2 games, but I do wish that they had just come out with a new MySims game or maybe added some twists to these current games. Ultimately, I just wasn't as surprised about this game as I thought I would be, and I'm giving it the B tier. Cook for Love was gifted to me, and I played this demo during Steam Next Fest and then was kindly gifted the full game upon release. It's pretty new. It is a simple cooking game where you follow recipes and you prepare meals as an intern chef. And as you do so more and more, you will upgrade your cooking levels. The more recipes you complete, the higher rank of a chef you will become. This is a very low stress game with cute dialogue and cute story in between. And I do think that some of these achievements were messed up or broken though on Steam, because I swear I should have had certain ones that I didn't have. I don't know if that got fixed yet. This is just a really cute game to pick up on a sale price. It's only about an hour of gameplay, but I did very much enjoy this one, and I'm giving it the B tier. Luma Island is a game that I didn't expect I would like as much as I did, and I'm really happy that this game is getting lots of love and had lots of good sales. It is currently on Steam. It's a wonderful game. It's about resource gathering, crafting, exploration, adventure, and you start this game by picking out a profession. I chose to be a cook in this game, but there are other professions too: treasure hunter, brewer, archaeologist, and they all have different difficulty levels. And the game, to me, it started out and I was like, oh no, is this going to be fetch questy? But then it wasn't. It opens up and you get to figure out and explore and do things on your own. Pick which quests you want to do and which ones you kind of want to wait for. And you'll find out that you'll have your own things to prioritize and your own goals to complete. There is fishing, farming, crafting, mining, farm animals, ranching in this game, but there is not that life sim element of the romance. You are kind of just grinding in this game and doing all this exploring and stuff. And for me, I really want to collect a lot of Lumas. I really want to ace my profession and master it. And that's what I liked about this game. This game is not a life sim, and that's okay. I don't think every game needs to be that. We don't need to fall in love in every game. We have Fields of Mistria. We can fall in love in that game, okay? I just loved it so much, and it really was one of my favorite games of the year. I hope more people can give it a chance and jump out of that world of like everything needs to be life sim, because it's not a life sim. It's just an awesome foraging, crafting, and profession mastering game. Luma Island is so easy to put hours into, and this is an S tier game for me. But I need to tell you that the reason I've not played Luma Island for a little while is because the next game I'm going to talk about stole all of my time and all of my attention, and it was something I did not expect at all. I didn't care about this game. I was like, yeah, I'll try it, but it's not making it into any of my videos for 2024. Well, wrong. It's in this video, and you better listen up because I like this game a lot, and I'm gonna talk about it because, oh my gosh, this game is Infinity Nikki. If you didn't guess it, it is a free gacha game. I'm not explaining what gacha is because I'm still learning. This game is absolutely stunning. You don't have to pay money to play it, and it's not pay to win. It's very much like pay to gamble and see if you can get cool outfits, but you can also directly buy out outfits, but I'm not explaining that part. The graphics of this game blow me away. This game is just like mind-boggling to me. How is this free? I'm gonna say that a lot, okay, during this segment. How is this game free? There is beautiful voice-acted main storyline quests that you can do, and I believe there's up to 8 chapters at this time. There are tons of side quests to do, and you can earn currencies that help you get more cosmetic items and different things in the game. There are tons of daily and weekly and like monthly and 2-week long quests that you can complete in the menu, kind of like checking things off, or like these like dailies you can complete to get rewards for the game so you can get more outfits. Sorry, I didn't even explain what this game is. This game is a girly game. You play as Nikki, and you have her sidekick Momo with you in this open world dress up fashion game. You run around in high heels and you jump around in the dirt, yet not a speck of dirt ever is on you or on your expensive looking outfits. This game is so cool. I can't believe it's a free game. You craft outfits for each ability that you get. So if you want to catch bugs, okay, you got to craft your bug outfit. And then when you go to use your bug net, oh, your outfit's gonna change, and you're like, my husband described it like, oh, you're a pretty princess. Oh, now you're a different pretty princess. But you're actually always the same pretty princess. And I love it. I've never played the previous Nikki games, and I'm sad that I didn't, because this is amazing. There are tons of mini games as well, and it's crazy. And I forgot to say that you can pet animals in the game. That's one of the outfits and like skills you do. There's no farming in this game, but there is like a fishing mini game, a fishing outfit, and you go fishing. And the mini game, I don't hate it, but it takes some getting used to, but it's great, and I just love everything about this game. I just cannot believe that this game is free for this level of quality. I haven't really felt this excited about a game like all year, besides Fields of Mistria being really up there. But this, in terms of the quality of this game, I'm just blown away. I'm really, really happy I gave this game a chance, and I can't believe it's free. I cannot wait to see what is to come for this game in 2025. It's a game I'm actually excited to follow along with and see how it grows. It's an online game, so it's always going to be getting updates as it continues on, and I'm really excited to see what that means for it, what collaborations it does. does. Will it have drops on Twitch? I don't know. Maybe you should find out by going to my Twitch channel and clicking follow, just in case, because maybe I would do drops in this game. I don't know. That means you get free stuff in the game. But I don't know. I'm just like speculating on what's to come for Infinity Nikki, and I really hope it sticks around because I'm really enjoying it. And let's talk about my ranking for it. This game is an F. Just kidding! That was a bad joke. This is an S tier game. S tier game, S tier game, S tier game. I didn't know it was gonna be, but it is. And I'm not gonna sing a song because I've just been sitting here for an hour and a half, so I need to end this video. If you've stuck around this long and you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video and checking out my thoughts on all of these games. All of the thoughts are my own. If you have different thoughts and opinions about a game, let me know in the comments below in a kind way, and we can talk about it. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully, I'll see you in my next YouTube video and in 2025. Can't wait to see you there. Bye!